Okay, so along these lines,
Yeah.
we often talk about the spiritual companionship modality as a contemplative experience, a contemplative engagement. I'm starting to see it more as an actual contemplative practice, and I think that it mirrors meditation in a lot of ways.
I agree.
And so, because when I am sitting with somebody, I am trying to sort of flow like water, like you say. But I am noticing, the little chit chat in my mind starts coming in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's not time for thinking mind. It's time for really hearing this person. Yeah. And so you set that aside and you flow around that thought and you come back to present with that person. And that's the practice of meditation as well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where some of us in meditation are working on taming the thinking mind and kind of giving it a rest and engaging our other senses, our other ways of knowing. Yeah. Does that resonate with you? I mean, you said, yeah, it sounds the same.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think what we are trying to do is get out of our own way, right?
Yeah.
And that requires humility and vulnerability. And I think it was Lucy Abatako who said, a lot of spiritual directors and spiritual companions want to come across as wise, and we need to resist the temptation. And I don't totally agree with that, nor do I totally disagree with that. I think we need to make sure that was flowing through us is not us. That was flowing through us is something deeper than us. And that it's the communal life force, that we're really making room for the divine to manifest, for the beyond to manifest, in harmony between both of us. And I think that getting out of the way is facilitated with modalities that really crack us open, right? I mean, we operate with blinders, we operate with a reduced field of vision, because we're encouraged to, since we start going to grade school, it's like focus. Don't get distracted, right? Yeah. Put that out of your mind. And really, in the West, in particular, they're saying use your brain, use your intellect, and use that only, right? Use that and hone it until it's like a penetrating microscope that can just zoom in on anything at very close resolution. And that's certainly a valuable way to see the world. But, what happens when you hone in on something very, very precisely? What happens to the rest of everything?
Yeah.
Right? You lose that, right? So it's not losing the forest for the trees. It's really kind of pulling back so that you can have that broader vision. And I think that's what meditation or other contemplative practices that might be differently named helps us do, is to pull back from our thinking mind enough so that we don't treat it as the only instrument in our toolbox to actually gain an apprehension of the world, right? I mean, you like to hike, you like to mountaineer. When you're up on the top of a hill, you're experiencing, you're not thinking. I mean, maybe the thoughts come in and go, oh, how would I describe this to someone, right? But the experience precedes your attempt to put it in a box.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going for, is, are you open like on a mountaintop? Are you open like when you're, swimming, or when you're sailing, or when you're biking, whatever it is that you do contemplatively? Are you that open to the experience, not to the description of the experience, but to the experience itself? And I think that's what we're going for, that kind of openness and humility. And the humility is also, that's why we always talk about unknowing and unlearning, right? The cloud of unknowing is, stop with this. Just be, just flow, just be open.
I often think of, that being on the mountaintop and being like, wow, this is really beautiful. The thinking mind is like, I think of it akin as like a sad, whiny child that's like, I need to pay attention to this. Like, involve me in this. Let's make some meaning here. Like, what does this mean?
Yeah,
it's like, shh, stop it, let's just be here.
Yes, making meaning. It's the saddest thing. I mean, it's sad. It's an observation, right? I mean, I was at a wedding recently, and this happens less because the wedding happened in India, so it wasn't happening as much. But just think about all of those, like you go to a concert, right? Your favorite star. And if they happen to let you use your smartphone to film, which lots of acts do these days, you see rows and rows of people with their smartphones, looking at their smartphones, capturing the experience, rather than putting down their smartphones and having the experience. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
In this case, the smartphone is like your intellect. But you can see that what it's doing is actually reducing your field of vision and putting an obstacle between you and the experience itself. So that's what we're talking about with contemplation and meditation is put down the metaphorical smartphone, put down your intellect. Mm-hmm. Now, don't abandon it, don't deny it. I'm not asking you to abandon it or deny it. Just put it down so that you can have the experience. Because once you have that experience, all sorts of channels are open that will feed your soul in unexpected ways.
Mm-hmm. It makes me think of this. I used to teach photography to college students, and I used to teach them this study, the scientific study of people in museums who would take pictures of the art with their phones, and they would review after, and the people who were taking pictures with their phones were less likely to remember or have any kind of experience with the art than the people who didn't. Yeah. And I use that to challenge, budding photographers, where it's like, if you say your work is all about capturing memories, but actually you might be hindering our ability to really have an experience of something by capturing it.
I think that's exactly right, particularly in the realm of spirituality, because anytime you put an obstacle, you're degrading the experience, right? Anytime you start talking about, trying to describe it, and I'm not saying that that's not a valuable exercise, but there's no substitute. I mean, would you rather be up on that top of that hill that you spent 50 hours getting up and with your smartphone looking at the view, or would you rather experience it in its beauty and its majesty unfiltered?
Yeah.
For whatever it might move in you.
Right.
And what it might dislodge in you.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's also a categorizing that happens there. And I guess that's the sort of meaning part of it. It's like, how do I capture, categorize, and compartmentalize this thing that cannot be captured or compartmentalized?
Yeah, it's a form of colonialism. Mm-hmm. Really, it's I need this to belong. It's like spiritual materialism. It's like, I had this experience. I need to be able to package it so that I can show other people, so I can share it with other people. And really what you're doing is imprisoning it and imprisoning yourself along with it, right? Rather than, and people can feel the difference. I mean, it basically goes to authenticity, right? If you have this experience, when you speak about it, people feel it. They have the experience too. Rather than, is this math class?
Yeah. Right.
Nothing wrong with math.
Yeah.
It's another beautiful way to evaluate the universe, but it's not really what we're going for when we're talking about, the endless universe, the endless beyond, the beyond without limits.
Yeah.